Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Data Beat $8, a podcast, aka the Black Awareness Rally, a podcast. You could be rocking with anybody else in the world right now, but you are here with us. And for that, we do appreciate you. It's your man Pledge alongside my main man B.
What up, Doe?
We welcome all of you guys to the discussion. B, what's been going on, brother?
You know, man, just living, lamping in the effing lap of luxury,
I
as they used to
hear
say.
you.
Going on with you?
Hey man, just trying to make things happen, man. It's been real busy with a lot of different things going on,
Mm-hmm.
but still trying to maintain and move through it. So
True. Uh, yeah, ain't not much else to say to that.
I hear you.
What y'all got going on this weekend?
Um, well, we of course we have basketball like always. It's that time of year, to where we're fully enthralled in that, and then the playoff games today. So
Yeah, you and the fam do anything for that?
actually, we are, yeah, we're gonna have like a real small get together for it. So
I got you.
really, really intimate occasion. So yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I ain't really got. I'm really doing much. That's pretty much gonna be baseball. I'm not baseball. I'm thinking about baseball, football, and that's probably it.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's about it, man. Uh, what else on the radar? Oh, yeah, the city changing for the Super Bowl yet?
What's up?
Is the city changing for the Super Bowl? Like, has it started to
Yeah. I
become
mean,
this
yeah, the
Wonderland?
preparation's a bit underway. I mean, even though it's going to be a very, very toned down Super Bowl, to where, normally, be something that would be something that full go, but due to the COVID situation, it's kind of very, very toned down, and it won't draw as many spectators and what do you call them, hanger owners, people who come to the city but don't go to the game. Um,
I thought the city was still prepping for that. I don't
I
know.
mean, they are, but not to the magnitude of a normal Super Bowl, though.
I got you.
I mean, you're talking about normally billions of dollars in economic, uh, stimulation that normally comes with the Super Bowl, and that just won't be there this year. Hopefully, the NFL will allow Tampa to run it back in the next few years, so we get a legitimate opportunity
Give him a
to,
second shot.
yeah,
I don't know what this the second time inside the 10 years, right? Or
I
maybe it's
think
been
the
11
last
years
time it was when the Steelers won it.
in
So it
Arizona.
was
Yeah,
it was a little over 10 years. I want to say it was like 2008, 2009.
yeah,
When the
probably 10. I think 10 or 9.
yeah, when the Arizona Cardinals and the Steelers played for the Super Bowl.
Mm. All right. Yeah, that sound about right. That sound about right. Uh, I remember that being a good time as a resident of the city. Got a hundred
Yes.
dollar tip. Hung out with some ex football players. Uh,
That's,
reluctant. Well, I ain't gonna say reluctantly. I just strip club in the casino. They made two of my digs. So I was like, all
yes.
right, well, we here, but it wasn't. I wasn't having a good time.
Yeah.
So
Actually had a good time one time when it was down in Miami. I forget which Super Bowl it was, but I had a blast when it was down there,
mm.
um, hanging out. So that was
I
cool.
remember that you and I think it was your cousin or something like that.
Yeah, me and my cousin lives down there, so he knows the ins and outs of how to maneuver in them streets down there. So
I missed out. I missed out. I missed out.
yeah, so that was a good time.
Yeah, Kendra. Yes, Tampa Bay. You guys are. They one game away from the Super Bowl. How crazy would that be?
Yeah,
They'll be the city of champions for real, because they won the. They ain't win it in baseball,
NHL.
did they?
Nah, they were runner up in baseball. They won the NHL, and then they have the Raptors are down here now too. So the
Listen,
Raptors
man.
won the last legitimate NBA championship. That's what they're trying to
Dang.
say without the bubble situation. So
You don't count that one y'all won is legit.
No, I definitely kind of was legit. I'm just saying they try to.
Listen, man.
So yeah, so it's a lot going on. It's an exciting time. It's just I don't know. I want to say it's sad that people can't go out and fully like enjoy it, like like the parades and all that stuff. Not that I would be out there, but I just think that when you win championships or you have Super Bowls, it's meant for everybody to be out and enjoying it and soaking up
I honestly don't think
the good time.
it's going to slow down a whole lot in terms of fandom and partying.
Yeah,
I could think of a couple people right now that they're gonna be on the scene for the festivities, official
yeah,
and unofficial, if you know what I mean.
I hear you,
So you know, yeah, just look out for another COVID surge.
man.
It's gonna happen, man. But
Yeah.
people want to feel like they can live their life. I can't tell them what to do, man. So anyway, yeah, man. What we got for the Black Awareness Rally joints?
Now, I mean, I'll just kick it off with the kind of the arts and entertainment section. Man, I just want to give a shout out to. I was reading about the inauguration
The
and
inauguration, yeah.
how both um, Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, as well as former First Lady I'm sorry, Michelle Obama, really, put a lot of young Black fashion designers
Mm-hmm.
really really rocked their stuff and really made a concerted effort. Not only in a lot of the pieces were like not just what they were wearing, but the colors were symbolic. Like purple was a representation of the was like a homage to the people who passed away from COVID,
Yeah.
as well as purple was a way, like when they say a purple state, it's like red and blue coming together. So it was
Mm-hmm.
really a lot of thought behind what they were doing, and
Oh,
of course they
that was real
were
deep. I ain't even peeped that. I ain't even peeped that.
yeah,
That was over my
yeah.
head. It's over my head.
So yeah, so it was a lot of thought behind what they were doing, and they really put some young Black designers, in the forefront by wearing their
And it was all three
pieces.
black dudes from what I saw.
Yes,
I was like, oh snap, three
yeah.
dudes.
So shout outs to them using that huge platform to uplift some young
Young, yeah,
um,
yeah,
some young Black designers.
yeah. I thought that
Um,
was huge too. They didn't go with the big label joints. Um, I did think that was special.
Yeah, shout out to the mittens from Bernie Sanders.
What's the craziest one you saw with the Bernie memes?
Wu-Tang Clan, him hanging out with Wu-Tang.
Yeah, I was like, yo, y'all tripping. The
That
Wu
was
Tang was
funny.
pretty funny. Trying to think what
Yeah.
was the funniest one I saw. I think the Red Table Talk.
Oh
They
wow.
put him at the red table when Will Smith was looking at Jada, and he was sitting right there like, mm-hmm. Thought that was the funniest one. Hey, yeah, what's y'all funniest Bernie meme? I don't know if y'all know Bernie Sanders he went viral this weekend or this past week for sitting and waiting in front of the inauguration stage before everybody got there, and he has since gone viral. People have been cropping him out of the inauguration stage setting or the audience and put him in different scenarios, and it's just been real fun to check that out. Seeing it in a lot of different places. So,
Yes.
uh, for my sports and entertainment moment, it's a somber one, but I want to pay homage to Henry Hank Aaron, the Major League and Negro League baseball legend, who
No
passed away
doubt.
this week at 87. No, 86. 86. So he passed away this weekend. He ended up becoming a philanthropist and a very successful entrepreneur. I think he owns like all the Popeyes chicken locations in Atlanta, as well as donated some major loot, he and his wife, to a lot of different initiatives. And he's even got a program and a institution up at Duke University that brings in a lot of minority students. to get a quality education there. So, uh, yeah, Danny B said her funniest one, her favorite Bernie meme was one of the ones they put him in the Golden Girls set. They put him in the middle of an episode, and they putting this cat everywhere. I thought that was pretty funny. I've been seeing like a lot of people put him in, like at their job too, which
Oh
is
yeah,
I
I've
thought
seen
that was
that
funny
too.
too.
People put them at their job. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, to kind of piggyback off the Hank Aaron, I grew up, I was a Braves fan growing up because honestly, they were the only baseball team in the South when both of us were born. So
yeah.
I was a Braves fan growing up. Actually, the first MLB game I ever went to was in Atlanta, um, to watch the Braves. So, and not only did he, was he a great baseball player, but the legacy that he left after playing baseball was just as big. So I definitely want to give a shout out. That was tough news to hear this week that Hank Aaron had passed away. So
You heard about the conspiracy theories swirling around that one?
nah, I haven't.
As always, we got to use our platform responsibly. I didn't comment on it on my socials, but he posted on Twitter. He posted a video, picture of him getting the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and this was a little over 3 weeks ago, I believe. And so, black folk took to the Twitter and the internet streets, social media streets, and it was like, he died after taking the vaccine. I was like, come on, y'all. Like, why? Why we got to do this every time?
Yeah.
So to those of us that are out there in them streets, he ain't died from the vaccine. Can we let that go?
Yeah.
Don't share that if you see it. It's not why he died. So
True.
I mean, on the opposite end of the spectrum, Larry King died after a battle with COVID. They were just two elderly gentlemen.
Larry King, he had a number of health issues throughout the years.
He was 87. I think he was 87.
Yeah, he was. 87,
these are two brothers that, they made it to their 80s after 85, lived very full lives. Think both of them would be proud of the things that they got accomplished.
Oh, definitely.
And let's just put some respect on their names, man, and leave the conspiracy theories out of it, and just honor the work and legacy that they tried to leave behind. Because Lord knows we could use some Larry King journalism right now, boy.
Oh, yes.
Especially over the last 4 years. So hopefully somebody decides to take up the mantle of both of those legends and try to come out here and let people see hard work and integrity can get you into some places.
Yes.
So, what you got? What next segment you gonna
do? I think we alluded to last week, but for the entertainment, I definitely want to give a shout out to one night in Miami. Mostly a shout out for the Miss Black Awareness pageant rally, Miss Regina King, for her directorial debut. I was able to watch it. I think we watched it after the show last Sunday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. I mean, you had 4 legends that were on top of their game at the time, that just happened to be in the same place the same night, and it was very revealing of how things went down. Then you had Malcolm X, you had Jim Brown, you had who is it?
Sam Cooke.
Not Sammy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. I was thinking Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, Sam Cooke. And so, and I'm forgetting Muhammad Ali, of course. Yeah. So,
a young
after
Muhammad,
watching it,
Cassius Clay, as it were.
Yeah, he was Cassius Clay at the time, and I didn't realize that all that kind of came together at the same time of Cassius Clay becoming Muhammad Ali. At that point,
Sam Cooke, from what I read, the movie, like it was a play and then the play was fictitious. That was somebody's account of what they thought happened based on them hanging out. Because they actually did hang out together one night. They actually,
Yeah.
you know, they were together. There are about 5 pictures from them hanging out together that night, and it was definitely the night. Like the events, like the dates and all that stuff is true. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the conversations were real. So I was like, oh, but
But no, I mean, but the culmination of everything of Sam Cooke being Change Gonna Come and things of that nature.
mhm.
Because I mean, Malcolm was very hard on Sam Cooke, if you saw the movie. So
Yeah, I was watching it. Drell was like, man, can't invite Malcolm to no parties. He's scaring all the women. I was like, man. I was like, don't do that. Right, get
I
it.
mean, that was a kind of what everybody else thought the meeting was for.
Yeah.
So
I get it, man. They did come thinking it was gonna be some lady friends. But I was like, dang it. And I couldn't even say nothing back. I was like, that's a good point.
I mean, but I think that was like the realest. I mean, that's as real as you can get, though. Like,
I mean, they did get invited under false pretenses. So, but they eventually did go out. That did happen. They did go to a party.
Yes.
So Malcolm looked like he did a good job at the party. He didn't scare anybody off. But man, I was. We'll get to that. Let me do mine real quick. So shout out to Regina King for that, man. I thought it was very, very enjoyable. And I want to thank her for not recruiting any of her Hollywood friends. Thank Lord that they didn't want to audition. Because I just know there's going to be some Negroes in there doing a terrible job. Like, who can I think of? Mary J. Blige trying to pretend to be Sam Cooke's wife. Get out the way, Mary J. Blige. Who else? Sanaa Lathan. People that they're too famous to hide into another famous person's role. I mean,
they've
like,
already been typecast.
well, I mean, yeah, I guess. Because could you imagine Will Smith at this point in the game trying to play Ali again? I'm just like, well, I can't. I see Will Smith. I don't see Muhammad Ali. So that's always a thing for me. And I also appreciate her for giving. Not that any of those guys in the movie were up and coming artists, because all of those brothers have been doing their thing, except for the 2 guys that played Ali and Malcolm X. Those guys, I don't think they have any like black mainstream America fame.
Yeah.
So I appreciated her for giving them brothers a chance to shine. So, but no, it's very enjoyable. I thought the guys did a great job, and I appreciate her for having the integrity she did when it came to casting.
Yes.
So let me do Jemele Hill as my nomination. She's partnered with Spotify to develop. Huh?
I'm saying we talk about her. She could be.
Let me find
I'm just
somebody
saying,
else.
like,
No, I feel like because it is a lot. We do a lot. But if anybody was wondering what I was gonna say, Spotify and her making I think she's making a network for young ladies to do podcasting. So that'll be cool. Hopefully we can get some journalists with integrity to come out of that program.
yes, I think a lot of people forget that Jemele Hill is a journalist at heart. That's where she got. That's how she came up. I think a lot of people just look at her as I don't know, like a social media influencer. I don't know. I mean, she wears so many hats, but
she does wear a lot of hats.
At heart, though.
But she was a journalist first, so
Yeah,
definitely
she
want
actually
to.
worked for the Orlando Sentinel, my hometown newspaper. So
You said she was there for a while.
yeah, she was and she was a professor at UCF as well. I'm not sure if she still is, but I know that she was a professor at UCF for a while too. So
Nah, man. Oh, I guess I can cheat. Shout out to all the women at the inauguration ceremony. So Kamala Harris and the poet, the young lady poet. She's a poet laureate.
Yes.
I heard that she had like a really interesting educational experience where when she was born, they were going to try to make her a education. What was it called? George, I'm a teacher. I'm trying to remember.
Special needs. I
Yes,
think, yeah,
yes.
she was
They labeled her
scholar's.
special needs, but she ended up going to Harvard.
Yes.
Not that Harvard is the standard, but in white America, that's one of the best. And she's a poet laureate and multi-published author. So respect to her, and respect to Kamala Harris for breaking a record, being the first black woman, first woman, the first Indian woman to become vice president of America. So yeah, that is really huge. Can't overlook any of those. So I want to shout out to those.
Yes. And
Uh,
so, for my community moment, I'm kind of keeping in the same light to where um Kamala Harris requested the Capitol Officer Eugene Goodman, the same man that escorted everybody away from the Capitol while the members of the Senate were still in there.
mhm.
So she personally requested him to escort her during the inauguration. So I just thought that was a major move of that brother getting the recognition and hopefully a promotion or whatever comes with it. I'm pretty sure that was an honor for him to be able to accompany her on her historical moment in the White House. So I want to give a shout out to both Officer Eugene Goodman as well as Vice President Kamala
Vice
for
President Kamala Harris.
for recognizing that brother and giving him an opportunity to make history together. So that's my
See how sisters putting on for everybody.
sticking together.
Right. She gave that brother a job. Didn't even have to. Wasn't even a requirement, right? Nah, shout out to Kamala Harris for doing that. I guess my community moment, which would be fun, sisters in the community, making it difficult for other communities. The Ebony Anglers breaking competitive fishing barriers and winning tournaments in the process. These young ladies entered and won their first tournament just 30 days after forming the team. So we ain't even they ain't even been doing this for a long time, and they just coming in like stomping on the necks of other people. 5 black women who recently tried their hands at fishing are now participating in the sport competitively and using the experience to build a special bond with each other while still balancing family, motherhood, and businesses. The group is out of North Carolina, and they're called the Ebony Anglers. So they all started when they happened to be near a competitive fishing event one day. It was like they had this huge fish and just looked like they were having a ball. So they immediately thought to themselves, let's do it. And all of a sudden they just started kicking butt. So
That's like it's like
that's
good
why
for
white
us.
people hate us. That
It's
right
like
there.
sad for everybody else.
It is not fair to us. I mean, it is not like we be cheating. They like it looked like they was having a good time, so we just did it.
That's not even their day job.
Mm-mm. 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 Nope. Nope. And it, you see what I'm saying, man? Like, just let people compete fairly, and whatever happens, happens.
But stuff like this happens though. Like that's like you're gonna use this as an example. Like, but you see what happens.
I'm just saying, let people compete fairly. Like when you let Hank Aaron
No,
participate.
no. Look here. I went to college. I was an angler in college. I'm saying I quit my job so I could focus on being an angler full time. And you talking about somebody who did this started this a month ago,
Just
beat me.
just showed up because they looked like we was having too much fun, so they wanted to have fun. I'll be mad too, though. Dog. Can you be? Come on, let's be honest, dog. You've been training because you know these dudes be training, and these 3 chicks just show up and like, oh, what y'all doing? No, excuse us, ma'am. And this dude probably think he big time, walking past with some shades on, got cameras all in his face. Why y'all interviewing him? And they just like, I want to join. Then the next time first competition they get in, they beat you.
Yeah.
You would immediately start talking about, I hate black women. Now, I really think that's like, come on now, let's be for real. Think of all the movies we saw with barriers and stuff being broken. Every time, though, I'd be like, yeah, that's why they racist. I get it. Because it always just seems like when you let people have a fair shot, just crazy stuff gonna start happening, dog.
Yes.
I mean,
Don't even know what bait to use. Nothing. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
just wait, hold on now, because we be fishing. We like to fish. That's one of them things you have you ever seen in Orlando growing up, certain areas where like black women just sit on the side of the road and be fishing. You never seen that? Like as you driving by? I know where I come
Black
from.
women, no. Black men, yes.
Nah, man, where I come from, like my grandma, everybody just they just went fishing and just sat out there. That was like a relaxation thing for them. So instead of a spot, they would just go sit on the side of certain lakes and streams and just fish. Then come home and cook up some grub for everybody.
Yeah. Moment of truth. Never been fishing.
Really?
Never.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll share a moment of truth. Moment of truth. I don't know if I'm still scared, but one of my biggest memories of fishing was going fishing with my dad, and it started storming, so we had to leave. And my dad was like, "All right, take your fish, put it in the bucket." And I looked at him, I was like, "What?" He's like, "Take your fish and put it in the bucket." So you had to call all these fish. And he was like, "Take them out the water and put them in another bucket or whatever." And I went to try to grab them, and that thing started moving. I started screaming. I was like, "What in the world is this?" I had to be like 5. And I was like freaking out. I was like, I ain't touching that. My dad was like, "Man, you put them fish in the bucket." I don't know. It probably took like 3 or 4 minutes later, but I felt like an hour or an eternity later. He got out the car. He was like, "Dude, you finna sit here and cry in the storm instead of putting the fish in the bucket?" And I was like, "Look, man, I ain't never touched no fish before.
Yeah.
This ain't where I grew up. I don't know what you talking about doing."
I hear you.
So, that's. I think that's the. I think I might have cleaned one fish in middle school, but other than that, I can't remember last time I went fishing. I think it's boring.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Quenika says she like fishing. She says it's relaxing.
Nice.
Quenika, what do we have to like go somewhere special to fish, or can we just show up like the old folks used to do? Anybody water and just catch some. Hey, did you know tilapia is like not a real fish?
Was it a man-made fish, right?
Yeah. So there was like this big thing where black people was like, "Oh, we not eating that no more." And I wonder if the people on the streets heard that because I know it. I saw that big uproar on social media. You know, social media ain't always real life. So, but anyway, yeah, I think that's everything for the Black Awareness Rally. Uh, kicking the bobo, kicking the bobo. I guess
Yes.
that's what we're gonna call it today. Kicking the bobo. All right, y'all. Topic is rest in peace to baseball legend Hank Aaron. We don't really have nothing too heavy for y'all this week. One thing I want to say while I was listening to some coverage of, everybody's talking about it, him passing, especially in sports. I did not know that he had to deal with so much BS when he got close to breaking the home run record at the time. And I just found out that if you watch a video of him like running the bases, and when he got the home base and his mom like jumped on him and grabbed him, they were saying that his mom did that because he was getting death threats from snipers. And she was like, "Well, if they're gonna shoot you, they got to shoot me too." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So apparently, he said he was like really stressed out that whole time, like he wasn't having fun when he got close to the record.
Yes. It was a very scary moment when the one guy ran out of the stand and ran with him when he hit the home run. Is that everybody thought that was it? Everybody thought dude was coming to take him out, and he was just so excited that he just ran with them or whatever. And the true professional that Hank Aaron is, he just ran like he just. It was like it wasn't like he threw up his set or nothing. He just ran like normal. So he handled that situation very well. But a lot of people were very scared during that. They're like, "Oh, here we go,
I
here
I
we
didn't
go."
I didn't know all of that. What tripped me out?
Yeah,
What tripped me out is that's like it's like some great American history, right?
yeah,
Like that's gonna be like a legend forever. But ain't nobody ever asked Hank Aaron like, "Yo, were you scared when the random white dudes just ran up on you after you was getting all them death threats?"
yes,
Like, cause as black people, yeah, I mean, we don't get to be in certain areas too often, and then we get there and they threaten to kill us, and then for
yeah.
all of a sudden you just know security, just all of a sudden you just let random fans run on the field. I ain't see that with Babe Ruth was on the field.
Nah.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
kind of scary, though.
honestly, it wasn't this the inauguration this past week wasn't as bad, but man, when I tell you I was nervous the whole time during Barack Obama's inauguration, especially when he got out of the car, and I was like, oh man. So I mean, this inauguration, it was I was somewhat like you know on the lookout, but yeah, but yeah, for I didn't know that about his mother. I was like, wow. But I do remember like one of the most important times in baseball history was when he broke the record and then you just got random fans running out in the field.
That's sad, man. I mean, respect to the meritocracy that sports can be, but just when they had them lapse in judgment, like Dre was telling me a story about baseball. I think it was like the was it the White Sox, Chicago White Sox, Red Sox, and they were trying to do this sports marketing thing to get people to come to the game. And it was like bring a disco record as we celebrate the death of disco, right? And I didn't know that disco was considered black people music. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah, he said he was watching the documentary and they was talking about it, but the uh, the people in Chicago hated disco so much that it was sold out. The game was sold out, and they still had people coming, and they couldn't like turn the people away because they wanted to come in and participate in burning disco CDs, vinyls. And so he said one of the staff, the workers at the stadium, was like, "Man, these people throwing away some great records, man. I wish I could have kept them, but it's just white people so happy to kill something they thought was black that they just came out like these record numbers like immediately." So I was like, "Dang, they're like." You be trying to get away from it, they won't let you chill, dog. They won't let it just be something chill to do. I don't know. I always think it's funny when I hear certain stories like that about sports. Hey man, what you thought about your boy Dion? Speaking of sports, helping Lil Wayne get out of jail, get that pardon from Trump.
I mean, I mean, first of all, I didn't know what Lil Wayne was in trouble for, or what he potentially could be in trouble for.
Gun possession in
But I
Miami,
do know
gun and drugs.
what's that?
He got arrested for
What's that?
guns and drugs in Miami.
Oh, okay. But I do know that old boy was throwing around pardons last week, like it was, you know, like it was going out of style. So,
They say he was literally selling them.
oh wow,
$2 million a
are you
pop.
serious?
2 million a pop. He had Rudy Giuliani handling the negotiations.
I did not know this.
Yep.
So is everything like everything a cash grab? Like everything is for sale?
Only the white people though. I mean, I thought it was really weird because everybody knew he was gonna pardon Lil Wayne. Everybody, the streets was chirping about that when Lil Wayne
Yeah.
came out and supported him right before the election. But he let Kwame Kilpatrick out, and apparently Kodak Black. I don't know if he actually did let
Yeah.
Kodak out.
I saw the Kwame Kilpatrick thing and I thought that was good because I mean, like Kwame got what, 20 years?
Yeah, but I'm
So
just
I thought
like,
that was crazy that he got it. So I thought that was a good look. But
so did you think like, oh, Trump ain't racist because he let them out, or did you think these cats must throw some hellified parties, and that's why Trump wanted them out when he got out. Because I was like, somebody probably don't think this has something to do with racism. Like this proves that he's not racist. But I was like, no, I just
No,
like
I
these some
mean,
hellified
I just
parties.
think it's a flex. I think everything he does is like a flex.
Yeah, but they were saying like a lot of people he picked, they were like they couldn't figure out what was the reason. And I was
Yeah,
like,
like
because they
I
throw
can't
great
understand
parties.
I can't understand his why Kwame Kilpatrick would be on Trump's radar.
They said Kwame used to get it in when he was mayor. Like kind of how like Marion Barron got caught with the women
Yeah,
when he got had that big scandal. They said Kwame was basically not as civically minded, but uh, he used to get it in too. Like
yeah. I know that he got in trouble for all the money that he was personally how he was personally benefiting off of being in the office. So
yeah. So I don't know, man. I was wondering how everybody felt about it. I was like, are we supposed to feel confused? Should we feel like, hey,
if
Trump might not be as bad
if
as
you're
we
in
thought?
prison, somebody gives you a get out of jail free card.
I mean, you
Gonna take
take it
it.
now. Yeah, you definitely take it.
You can't get mad at these cats for being like, for accepting a pardon.
No, I ain't.
Um,
Listen, give horse, don't look it in the mouth. All that. But
yeah.
what should we think
Because
about?
I was in prison. If I was in prison and Trump was like, "Hey, you can get out," I'd be like, "Hey, appreciate you, thanks."
So are we sending Lil Wayne's invite to the cookout? Lil Wayne and Deion Sanders' invite to the cookout?
Nah, I mean, especially not Dion. Nah, we can't.
Why we can't?
Dion,
Is Deion on that list of
Dion,
black
all the
god
jobs that
celebrities we can't touch?
Dion is at an HBCU trying to rebuild an HBCU, and so I think that Dion is doing a lot for us. So I mean, we can't let this one thing um, ignore us from everything else that he's doing. The fact that I mean, as I said, this cat is in Mississippi. Prime time is in Mississippi. Like that's like he there to like really really help out
He
and make
just
some
really
things
love the
happen.
hood.
If prime time is in Mississippi, he's really there, for those kids and for that program. So,
But what? So just I don't know. I don't know. I know he got robbed last week. Somebody broke in his truck and stole the boombox. Now in my mind, I was thinking, I was like, yo, does this mean people really don't rock with Deion like that on the ground? Like outside of sports. Outside of sports. In sports.
young cats may not know. Young cats may not know about prime time though.
Hey. I don't know, man.
I mean, it's sad that they don't know about prime time, but they should.
Hey, dude, ladies on the show, do y'all know who prime time is? Without us having to explain who prime time is? I wonder if that's a thing. You think ladies know in this generation?
Yes, they know who Deion Sanders
They know.
is.
They know Deion prime time Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But nah. I mean, you can't cancel Deion, dude. If you are an NFL Hall of Famer and as many options as you got, you go to an HBCU to try to build up their program. Lifetime pass.
Do you think it's a lifetime pass at the cookout?
Yeah.
Oh, but Nika says she don't know who. Oh, never mind. She heard prime time, but now she know Deion Sanders is who we're referring to. She know who it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. What else happened this week that I just thought was hilarious, or just made me stop and pause and think a little bit? Yeah, primetime is the dancing football player. Yo, remember the dance that used to be on like all the old NFL highlight films, where when Cat scored a touchdown, they would do like the chicken legs, like the crazy legs thing.
Yeah.
I met his name was Billy White Shoes Johnson, I believe, right?
Yes.
Oh, you knew who that was? I met him again. I didn't meet him, but I was in a meeting with him week before last. He lives in Atlanta. I was like, God damn, Atlanta! Like
Oh, really?
this dude is supposed to be like a shaker and mover in civil rights now. So I'm just like, it's like all these like not really iconic people, but these people that are icons in different little pockets of society. A lot of them just out here chilling, living their life in Atlanta. You would think Atlanta is like the retirement for black legends or something, as opposed to Miami.
Yes. So
I
yeah, I
met
mean,
the president of Delta Sigma Theta. Met like three judges. Um, I met this iconic civil rights photographer. Just they just being here out here chilling in Atlanta. I'm like, what? All the history out here?
nice, man.
I
I
don't know,
mean, but
man.
that's what you went up there for, though, right?
I mean, literally, it's literally why I came up here to get more into the weeds of certain stuff. I've just never ceases to surprise me. So I don't know why I forgot, but I found out Martin Luther King's. I think it was his adult home and the church that he preached at. You know, they both here, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. He is from here." Oh, so
Yeah.
when he got some pictures in front of that, I don't know, man. It's always weird,
Yes.
but yeah. Hey, Danny says she knows who Dion is. Well, welcome to the first time, last time, returning listeners. If you guys can like and share, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Check it out. If you think that what we're doing is kind of awesome, go ahead and let us know. We didn't have a lot to go off of this week, in terms of major events. Um, I did see a lot of people discussing the executive orders that Joe Biden signed into law, and some of them came up as discussion points in some of these Facebook groups I'm in, and it just made me think one thing, players, especially that chat group we're in. It's like, yo, do I not know black men? Like I have relationships with them, I know them, but when it comes to what we think about a lot of stuff, I was like, a lot of stuff I've been hearing lately, it's kind of shocking. Like what? So one example was how one of the executive orders removed the Muslim ban that Trump put in place, and then I think it was another one that was gonna the DACA, the Dreamers Act, the DACA, the Dreamers Act or whatever, and how that it's associated with Muslims and then Hispanic people, but the tons of immigrants that are black immigrants that are coming from black countries, that Trump called them the S-hole countries. And I was like, oh snap, that actually is something that benefits black people, not black Americans, but black people. And these guys in this group I was in, they were like, man, F that. I don't care nothing about that. I need to see something specifically that's about black people. I want reparations. I don't want to hear none of this people of color and minorities crap. I only want to hear about black people. And so it got me to thinking, I was like, yo, a lot of black dudes that just really, 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 really only care about, which, there's nothing wrong with that, having resources to provide for their family. If it ain't got nothing to do with that, they ain't with it, right? And then this other part was this perceived masculinity that's tied to some really weird crap that I don't understand. Like, remember we was in the chat and Waleed was like, he don't like Shannon Sharp. And I was like, what? You don't like old Uncle Shay Shay? He's like, see, the
Yeah.
nigga named Shay Shay. Enough said. I was like,
I
what
mean,
is that?
yeah.
I mean,
I
but it's a
mean,
lot of people that feel like that. That was just an example that I knew. What is with black dudes? Like, what is that about?
I don't know. I mean, I think we should have legitimate reasons for why we don't like each other or why we discount each other. And it should be if you know a guy that's not being responsible and not take care of his household and not take care of his family, stuff like that those are reasons why people should be called out and canceled in our community. But just because you don't like somebody's name and stuff like that, I mean, that's to me, that doesn't make sense at all.
I just, I don't know, man. I've been learning a lot just due to the election. There's one, like I said, there's one pundit I listened to. He was like, man, all the polling that was talking about 20% of the black men going to Trump and all that stuff. He was like, that's kind of misleading because he was asking the wrong questions and blah blah blah. But it's like, yo, we really don't. I guess if it helps us feed our family, we just cool with it. I mean, like, do we should we care about where the money comes from and all that wonderful like should integrity be tied to feeding families?
I think it should be tied to what people. I think you have to feel good about your situation. I think that's the way you'll be able to enjoy the money. But I think for you to have a clean conscience about it, you have to, you have to feel good about the source of it. And is that source a is that source going to be something that can be repeatable, sustainable, or is it just going to be a one-time situation? I think that's one of the things that I have with people just saying, oh, I want this. Are we looking for something that's gonna serve us one time and then that's it, or are we looking for ways to educate ourselves to where we can get a more sustainable source of resources? And I think that's one thing. I'm more so for ways that are going to give us a sustainable amount of resources, like repeatedly, as opposed to just one and done.
Something like a transferable skill, like or you
Yes,
could, you know.
transferable skill.
What about this notion? This just where my headspace been at, specifically when it comes to black men this week, because we're still the most marginalized group in the country. Sisters are very, 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 very close second, if not one B. But it always makes me think, since we get marginalized so much, we just get pushed on the fringes of society. A lot of us feel like, well, we have to provide. You know what I mean? Like, because if you don't work, you don't eat. That whole concept, right? And a lot of us turn to petty, nonviolent crimes. Some of them, more notoriously labeled drug dealing, right? It's not that, we created the drug trade and all that wonderful stuff, but it was like it was a way for us to get money so that we could start feeding families and putting people in situations that we weren't in because we didn't have the money. And so, fast forward maybe 30, 40 years, that becomes a admirable trade because it shows results, and then it kind of becomes something that the hood kind of idolized. And so we have women that kind of like the drug dealers. We have kids that look up to them, the athletes as well, because it seems like it's the most productive investment of a time. And, coupled with some other things, it just really makes me wonder, man, like, yo, is it just really that easy for us? Like, are we in such a messed up state that we'll just take a means of production or producing money regardless of the outcome or how short term it may be?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you use the term short term, because I do think that a lot of the things we do, we are quick fixes because we haven't been able to build the
You're like
generational.
stopgap measures.
Yes. And so, just think, if you're growing generation by if you're growing your family generation by generation, and you're able to accumulate, in every generation behind you improves and grows upon what you're able to build, you know, over time, your family's going to be a lot better off. But I think when we haven't been able to produce that, we're looking for ways, say, hey, how can I live the same lifestyle of people that's been, generationally wealthy? How can I build that same lifestyle? And I think that in ways we tend to gravitate towards those things, whether it be, entertainment, sports, things of that nature, where you can build a, you know, a generational wealth in in one generation, as opposed to going through the process of,
The long
you know,
game.
of, of building things over time.
Mm. I don't know,
And it's,
man.
I mean, it's not necessarily, it's not anything wrong with going after those things, but I just think sometimes it's like we're swinging for a home run, but if we don't hit that home run, we strike out.
Yeah, we don't even get on base.
We don't
Like
even
make
get
no
on.
progress whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kwanika says, when I was in high school, guys made it look easy, like easy money. Thought about getting a book and selling some dime bags. She thought about getting a book bag. Like, I, I see women gravitate towards it in different ways because of what she said, the easy money. Like, I don't know if I told you, but I remember this one young lady telling me she preferred to date drug dealers specifically because the amount of expendable cash and the free time that they had to spend time with her, because they didn't have to be at a, their schedule wasn't regimented such that they had to be somewhere away from her or out of, like they ain't got to be at a 9 to 5 and can't be on the phone caking with her all day
Yeah.
while she was in college. And my jaw dropped because I hadn't heard anybody, one, be that transparent, and then two, admit something. I think a lot of guys kind of knew, like, girls just kind of want to be secure financially, and these guys look like they might be the quickest route to that, even if it is universally understood to be a temporary thing.
Yes.
So, one, thank you to Quanika for sharing that. Two, second question I had this week: how much of what we aspired to be as young black kids was due to masterful marketing? Because when we were coming up, the late '80s, Jordan had started to ascend to this new height, and we just come off the high with the NBA, finding two superstars in Magic and Larry Bird. That it turned into this class on marketing and trying to get people to be a part of it. And I know a lot of kids wanted to be NBA ballers. And I thought to myself, especially when I was getting set up, how much of what I aspired to be as a kid was due to marketing as opposed to just this innate desire that I had based on the talents that I had. You ever wonder that?
It's a good question. I don't know if I don't even know if it's direct marketing as opposed to subtle marketing. Things that we repeatedly see over and over and over and over again, as opposed to just one
Right.
message.
I agree.
But I do think that what we get exposed to a lot of what we repeatedly see is what we kind of gravitate towards. And like nowadays, you bring up Jordan. Jordan's impact wasn't just on the court, but Jordan's impact was off the court, and you see that with how like many shoes he's still able to sell without even playing anymore. And who are probably the biggest consumer of Michael Jordan's apparel and shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of times Black people gravitate to where they see themselves a lot at. We see ourselves a lot as NBA players. We see ourselves a lot as entertainers. We see ourselves a lot as.
But is that because, again, it's not, we know we do more than that. You know what I mean? But is that because that's all we're allowed to see? You know what I mean? By the big media like the mainstream media companies. Like, when Dr. J was doing this thing, they put him in the movie they called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. And they had this whole, there's like this 4 or 5 minute montage of him just playing basketball at night because the school teacher had a younger brother or son. She was like, I refuse to let him be in these streets thinking that basketball is going to be his way out the hood. when he's smart enough to get an education. And she was like, why you won't help me teach him that message? And so Dr. J's character says, this is why. And then he pulls over into this like basketball court and he just plays basketball for 3 minutes while they play this epic song about playing basketball. And I know as a 37-year-old man, I was like, yo, this is really corny and it's an epic way to play basketball. Like they just showed him playing basketball. He was just dunking, shooting jumpers, doing spin moves in like dress shoes and bell bottoms. And so I can imagine kids at that time watching that movie thinking, man, that's what I'm going to do because I want to be just like him. Because it was a well produced film. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so it's really hard, man. Especially when the guys that are doing it, quote unquote, the traditional way, you know, they super tired at night. They come home like everybody hates Chris. His dad works 3 jobs and he always sleepy and they struggling. That's what you
Yeah.
saw for real. But on TV, they showing you, oh man, if I could just learn to dunk a basketball and be like Dr. J, because everybody like Dr. J, I should just do that. I mean,
Yes. And so I to kind of counteract a lot of the things that we see, I think it's almost our responsibility to, especially, you being in the education and you having direct access to kids, and me being in different circles to where I coach or mentor young
yeah,
kids,
yeah,
to let them see other areas or other arenas where Black men can be successful, and that it's not necessarily either it's a pass fail situation. Because I think what a lot of things that young Black people acquire, like what they aspire to be, is a pass fail, as opposed to, hey, this is an area like STEM. Me and you have talked about STEM on this show. If more young Black people got into the STEM industry, they're gonna make 6 figures a year. They're gonna be able to, if they're smart with their money, they'll be able to retire, with millions of dollars in the bank and things of that nature.
yeah.
And that's a industry that continues to grow. So there's no barriers to entry there. So
Right.
I think that we kind of have to be responsible and not just present, these 1 or 2 avenues, as I say, where it's pass fail, but present some things to where it's kind of open to everybody else. So
And this sounds really corny, but I'm about to say it. Sound like some real Hotep stuff, some real Muslim selling bean pot on the corner in 95-degree weather with a suit on. Is it our job to promote alternative lifestyles to being entertainers? Like, is it because we're not doing a good enough job on our social media platforms and in our relationships with children that we do know to tell them that, like that one fact, if you work as a tech guy or STEM guy at Google for 10 years, you'll make $1 million, as opposed to being a part of the 75% of NBA and NFL players that go broke after 4 years.
yeah, I think it's our job, and I think it's a thing to where we have to build up this level of like trust in the process. The Philadelphia 76ers made that phrase very popular, trust in the process. I think we have to be more process oriented and saying, hey, look here, as opposed to, not saying like get rich quick schemes, but as opposed to trying to accumulate everything all at one time or whatever, let me be pragmatic in my approach and work to build things over time, knowing that it won't all come at the same time. But if I, play things right, eventually, every goal that I'm trying to achieve, I'll get there. So
Yeah. I'm with you. I guess we do need to do a better job of that. We're gonna wrap up this week. We'll wrap up a bit early. Did a little bit over an hour. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Everybody that joined in. because some other obligations, we're gonna try to cut the show a bit short. Excuse me. But some things I definitely want to leave on the table for us to think about is, you know, how much of how the next generation sees themselves in their future is due to what we present, and then how much what we're currently doing as a result of marketing. And then if you're a black man listening to the show, first and foremost, thank you. And then man, we want y'all to join us and talk with us a bit more about, you know, what it's like to be a brother that still believes in the old adage that I got to be the breadwinner in the household. I saw a question on Facebook this week that really got me to thinking. One of the listeners to the show was saying he wonders how many black men could be secure enough in themselves to marry a woman who's as successful as Kamala Harris. And I was like, ooh, that's real heavy. So I was like,
that might be a topic for next week's show.
yeah. So you know, we could definitely talk about that because Lord Jesus, that'll get us into a lot of relationship dynamics. But you know, seeing as how, again, a lot of the things that we were taught to be traditional and the way to do things really might not have been set up for the black family's success. Like it might have been a get rich quick scheme that was presented to us, but it was actually a long term play by the powers that be. And maybe we need to start side eyeing a lot of this stuff because it absolutely isn't for us. Generationally speaking, like, you know, you could be an NFL player and live high on the hog for 3 seasons or 3 years, and then after that be 25 and looking at what you got to do the rest of your life because the money's gone. You know, so yep, Danny says it's definitely our responsibility, and Quanika said, well said, something else. But anyway, those are some things to think about, guys. These are the things that, you know, although we didn't have a specific topic, these are definitely some of the takeaways from this last week in the news. And again, like this, please like. We got 5 people on the show, and we get 5 likes. Can we get 5 likes? Can we get 5 hugs, laughs, frowny faces, anything, any clicks, any text, any comments will help other people see what we're doing. It's fun. It's a labor of love, but it's definitely for the benefit of the whole community. So help us out. Got anything else, man?
Nah, man. As I said, thank you guys for rocking with us. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Have a good week. Peace.